Today, I'd like to share with y'all an old-fashioned banana bread recipe that I like to make for those busy mornings you can enjoy with coffee or just a cold glass of milk. It's really tasty and it has that little crunch from the walnuts that I like to put in. It's nice and soft on the inside and it has that crusty edge on the outside, which I like to show here. Breaks off nicely. You can enjoy it on busy mornings, on the way to school, on the way to work. I like to do it whenever I can, which is when I have the really ripe bananas. So I would like to walk you right through it. So I have here 4 ripe bananas. They need to be large size bananas. Mine are medium size, so I have an extra one which I'll throw in. So I have 5. You'll see in the video here that I'm adding to the recipe, but basically just 4 large bananas will do. Perfect. So I'm just taking all of the skins off of the bananas. And we're gonna throw them into a bowl, and here's my 5th one because I didn't want to get rid of it. I'm just breaking them into pieces so it's easier to mash with a fork. And then just mash them down. You can use a chopper, a blender or something, but I like to use a fork so that they're not so pasty. So I like to feel a little bit of that soft bananas into the banana bread. So make sure you just press down with the fork until they're pretty much mashed. It doesn't have to look perfect or super soft and smooth, okay? Because everything is just gonna come together into this bread recipe. So I'm just going to keep going for another minute or so because I have a lot of bananas here and they're very healthy, high in fiber and potassium, all the goodness, and the kids won't even know it. And it's delicious as well. So there we are. Now in a separate bowl, we're gonna get started with the butter. So I have half a cup of butter here, which has to be at room temperature. I'm adding 1 cup of sugar, 2 large eggs, and I'll give them a good mix. Usually my butter is softer, but I guess because it's a cooler winter season, right now it's not so soft, but I left it outside for a couple of hours. Again, it doesn't have to be a very smooth composition because we're gonna add the flour and then everything is gonna come together. So give it a good mix. Perfect. I'm just going to add the banana mixture right now. All that goodness right into the wet mixture. So everything wet goes together. And I will add 1 teaspoon of vanilla sugar because I don't have the vanilla extract here, but I think I'll make some for next time from vanilla beans. So a teaspoon of vanilla sugar or vanilla extract. Give it a good mix. So now I'm just adding 1 full cup of flour and another 3/4 cups of flour. So 1 3/4 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of sea salt or Himalayan salt, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I will have all the ingredients of this recipe down in the description box below, so you can just check it out if you've missed any measurements in the video here. Give it a nice mix so all the flour is incorporated into the egg and banana mixture. and everything will come out nice and smooth. You don't need to add any more liquids because you have the butter and the bananas, which are moist. There we go. It doesn't take long. It takes just like a minute or two just to get it all together. Now I have here 1 cup of walnuts, which I will chop by hand because I like them coarsely chopped. You can also use a chopper, electric chopper, but I just give it a nice coarse chop. And I will add these yummy crunchy walnuts into the banana bread mixture. There we go. Just dump it all in there. Again, give it a nice mix for a few seconds, 10-20 seconds. Make sure everything's well incorporated. And I hope your oven is preheated. I preheated mine to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. So make sure you do turn that on ahead of time. Here's my rusty bread pan, which I like to use a lot while I make bread. I just made bread the other day. I line it with parchment paper or wax paper, but this is baking parchment paper, so you don't need to oil it or grease it. Just simply put the batter right into the pan. There we go. Everything is fitting right in, so you will have 1 loaf of banana bread with these ingredients. And we are going to pop this into the oven, which is preheated, like I said, on 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. And make sure you put the timer on for 1 hour. It takes about 50 minutes to 1 hour. For me, it takes about 1 hour. And when that's ready, you take it out and you do the test, the toothpick test. I have a big skewer here because it's a big loaf and it's dry, so the banana loaf is ready. I let it sit for about 10 minutes and then I remove it and let it sit again on a wire rack for another 10 minutes or so it won't fall apart. Then I like to remove it from the parchment paper and just let it cool completely on the wire rack before you slice it. So give it 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I didn't have any patience, so 10 minutes later or so, I started slicing it. And the crust is nice and crunchy, and the inside, guys, it's nice and soft with bits of walnuts that are crunchy as well. The texture is so delicious. It goes really well with coffee. I had to have a taste and it's really yummy. So by the time the kids are home, we have banana bread for a snack with a cold glass of milk and a great appetite. So I'm just slicing the rest of the banana bread. I tested it, it's yummy, all right. So just getting some slices ready to go and to be enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed the recipe, you should give it a try. I'm sure you're gonna like it. It's not a complicated one. That's why it's called an old-fashioned banana bread recipe. You have all the ingredients on hand. Usually everybody has bananas that sometimes go really ripe, so you can throw them together and you can enjoy.